What's up, guys? I'm Nell.
And I'm KJ.
And we're the hosts of Millennial Talk. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Millennial Talk. We are here once again with our co-host, Courtney. And today we're going to be talking about where we feel like we should be, or where society, our generation, feels like they should be at certain age marks versus where we are in reality. So let's start with like early 20s. Where do we feel like we should be, or people should be in their early 20s? Like, what should they be doing career-wise, school-wise, relationship-wise, whatever?
I feel like statistically they want you to be like, okay, early 20s. Are we thinking like 21, 20? Or
Yeah, like 21.
I think they feel like all of us should be in college is what really, like, if you're not in college, you need to have a job. Like, that's the only option you really have, college and a job, and you should be moved out your parents' house. That's what they...
You think so at 21?
Yeah, but I feel like it's slightly changed a little bit only because college is expensive. So then if you're in college, your parent might be like, all right, you could just stay until you graduate. But like if it was back in the day, you need to be moved out. You need to be in college or a job. That's it.
What do you think, KJ?
Okay, so I honestly think it depends. I'm not sure if I want to say this.
Oh boy.
What you about to say?
I'm not gonna say.
Wait.
Okay.
I think it just depends on the person. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
And it depends on the family.
Okay, so you're getting, I guess, more specific. Just, I guess, in general, anyone in like their early 20s, where should they be in life? Like, what should they? Yeah.
Well, that's why I said it depends on the family. I wish I could further explain why I said that. But
I wish you could too.
I wish I could, but
I'm sure they out there.
I know. I know y'all wish I could too, but that's gonna get a.
I want to be in the comments
it's gonna hit it there.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys really want to know, put it in the comments and I'll talk about it again later.
Yeah.
But basically, I guess at this part in this timing in our lives, and we are like around 20-ish to however old, I think what society thinks, we should be in college, we should be in the military, we should be doing something, we should be doing something to help our parents, I guess you can say, or help ourselves, really. So I kind of think that's where society thinks we should be.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do not think that's where we all are.
Oh, I forgot. Kids.
Oh,
I know. 21, 22, 23. Do we have kids? Do we not have kids?
I feel like it's
family.
I feel like if it's a woman who's not doing anything, like she should be a housewife, like type of mentality, then she should be having kids. It's what society thinks. Mm-hmm. It's like sad to say that's what society still thinks, but let's be honest. They think you should be like white picket fence, nice house, 2.5 kids.
The American dream.
Like the American
Great
dream.
Gatsby. At 21, 22, 23?
Yeah, because some of our parents got married at 18, just called it a, well, not mine, but like at 18, they just got married and they kids 2 seconds later. Like, it was just that fast. Like, why y'all that fast? Like, that's too much.
Okay, so 25, where do you feel like a person should be?
I think at 25, in society, they think, I said a person. In society, they think that we should be in a relationship at that point, ready to settle down, have a stable job, looking for a house, looking for a state that we want to stay in, and, getting ready to have kids, get married, the whole 9 yards.
So at this point, we're done with school?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you
should clarify.
You should be having that bachelorette lifestyle. Like, that should be, just finish it, it's a wrap, chill out. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be...
You say you shouldn't be doing it?
Like, you shouldn't be doing it.
So you should be ready to settle down.
Yeah, and you should society. And you should slowly be moving up that career ladder. Okay. Like, either you just got in there, or you should slowly be making your way through.
Mm-hmm.
And now, 30. Where should you be?
What do you feel?
I'll go back and do all of them, but I wanna try to keep this podcast moving.
Yeah.
So at 30,
you need to definitely have a family.
Okay.
Definitely have a house at this point.
Okay.
Definitely be settled in your career, because that's what they think. Definitely, emphasize definitely settled in your career, and like, did I say kids already? Because you need to have kids is mandatory at this point. Kids, like 3 of them.
What do you think,
Because that's when you have grandma and grandma's like, when you gonna give me some grandkids? You need some grandbabies. It's just like, all right, then I'm still single. So.
So is there anything else that you think is an expectation, I guess, at 30? Anything that she didn't already say?
Nothing I can think of. I guess, I don't know.
Okay.
Nothing I can think of right now.
I guess to go back, I think that at 20, 21, 22, whatever, like you say, you should be in school or getting ready to graduate, looking for, doing that internship or whatever, maybe dating, casually dating, and then like by 25, you should have graduated already, either be in like post-grad or, have entered your career field, whatever that may be. Probably dating someone at this point, like long-term, like, at 20, it's like, oh, you can date here and there, a couple months, whatever. But now it's like you should be in like long-term relationships, like relationships that you've been in for 3 to 6 years at this point.
So
somebody that you,
Exactly.
maybe kids, at this point. And then by 30, definitely kids. Definitely, if you're in your career track, have your own place. Oh, I guess at 25, too, you should have your own place to be paying your own bills and stuff. At 21, you might have your own place. Maybe, like you said, depending on the family, might have your own place. Probably not paying all the bills. You're probably either on, like, student aid or your parents are helping you or whatever. But by 25, you should be, like, on your own. And at 30, you should be on your own, married with your kids and your dog and your picket fence and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny how you mentioned the dog, because I was going to say the dog. I was like, you gotta have a dog.
So I guess now, so that's like ideally what I guess we are made to feel like where we should be in life. So now realistically, where are people in their, in their early 20s, 20, 21, 22? Not necessarily like any specific person, just like, I guess like our generation in general.
I feel like a lot of early 20s, a lot of people, well, I feel like a lot of us in generation are trying to go to college. So I feel like some of us are either in college or like going to grad school, or some of us are like working, or it's those of us who are just like a little late in life, still living with our parents, still on the couch, we're pretty much bumming it out. That's the lower percentage of the 21s, but it's still a lot of them, enough of them that it's just like, okay, like.
So you're saying that there are people that aren't in school and don't have a job?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think at this point, you have a lot of people who in college doing the usual, leaving college, working full time, and some are going to graduate school or medical school or whatever type of school they're going to. They're in post grad life, and then you have others who, after high school, they're kind of done with school, so they went to the military, or they just started working, and they're really just trying to find their way or find like their best way to live their life. So I think it just really just depends on the person. But in general, I think we're kind of split in like two halves. We either went to college and we're working, or we stopped after high school and we're trying to find another way to be able to make as much money without
As those people that went to school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we're like kind of stuck between like those two. And I think the people who kind of stopped after college and didn't go to the military, I think some of those people are like they're like the big creative people, I think, in our generation, because they have to use their minds and they have to use like
their talents.
Yeah, to be able to get further in life and to get more money. So they literally have to work like a lot harder. Like I don't want to say that they work so much harder than we do, because we definitely work hard to get through school and things like that. But like they work really hard to be able to not only prove themselves to their family and to society, but to themselves, and to know that they can make it. Yeah, because especially if they didn't go to college and they're living on their own, it's really hard. It's hard, especially like if you're not working like these jobs that pay a lot of money. So I think that's kind of where our generation is split at right now.
I also feel like a lot of us are like trying to move out, but they're not moving back home, and they kind of feel like let down, like they didn't succeed in life. They're like, oh, I'm gonna move back home with my parents. But a lot of us are moving back home. Like I didn't leave. Like I'm okay with it. Me and my mom have an agreement. As soon as I graduate, I gotta get out. I'm okay with that. Like that's reasonable to me. Nowadays, especially the economy, things have changed. Stuff is too expensive. All these prices are inflated. I know I help her pay bills. It's too much sometimes. I'm just like, that plus rent. Nah, I can't do it. It's for the birds. I can't. Like,
So at 25, where is our generation?
25.
What was that?
Because I am
Reaction.
25.
Because
Y'all younger than me, I'm 25.
Because I think at 25, our generation, a lot of us are getting married. If we haven't already gotten married 4 years ago, at 25, they are having kids. If they already haven't had kids 4 years ago.
That's what I was going to say about the 21 is that I think that we said that at 21, 22, you should be in school, focusing on school and like internships and getting a job and getting your foot in that career world. But I feel like I think that there are people that have done that, but it's like towards the end of that. So like maybe junior, senior year, they start getting married and having kids.
Oh,
and
yeah, I see that, yeah.
I know for me that would not work. I could not balance doing as well as I did academically in school and like having a husband that I had to take care of or having children that I had to, like I could not do that.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people that are in our generation are doing that and they're doing both. And I don't know because I've never asked personally, but I've always wondered if their academics and their scores and things have suffered because they've been trying to do both.
One thing that I have noticed, well, it's like a common trend for like, girls who got like pregnant in school, a lot of them dropped out and never finished, and you have like very few who actually do go back and finish. And there, at our school, there were so many girls that did get pregnant, and I was so happy to see that they did finish.
Yeah.
But you have like that whole stigma, and then you have the different types of lose my thought. We were talking about kids. I'm sorry, balance. You have some people who are in relationships in college, and they get so sucked into their relationship and so like absorbed and consumed with their relationship, they're just thinking about that person that they lose kind of sight of school, and they get to the point to where they either have to drop out or their grades fail, and they're falling, all these different types of things. So I think it's definitely detrimental if you don't know how to find that balance.
I had a friend who that exact same thing happened to.
Same with me.
Like, literally got focused on the relationship. This happened two times, freshman year and sophomore year. But then the sophomore year is when things started to change, the relationship started to consume, and then pregnancy hit, and then it's like you're focused and then your grades slowly starting to drop, and then she just didn't finish. So it's like, it depends. Like, she wants to go back, but it's like, it's so many things that can happen because now you have kids.
And that's what Pastor was talking about on Sunday. He was saying, like, it's hard to get that momentum back once you've stopped. That's like, for me, that's why I didn't take a break between undergrad and grad school. Like, I went straight through because I knew that if I took a break, I wouldn't go back. And if I did go back, it might be like 10, 15 years from now. And at that point, it's like, do I need to go back? Like, I know my mom never went back to get her master's or anything because at this point, she doesn't need it. She's been in the field and has so much experience that she doesn't need another degree. Yeah. Her experience alone will carry her and get her those positions that she wants. So for me, because I didn't have that experience, it was like, I need to go to grad school. And if I don't do it right now, I'm going to lose that flow of like doing homework and going to class and stuff like that. So momentum was a big thing for me.
Definitely. I think it's like that for a lot of people in our generation. Because I know, like, for education majors, a lot of them, they have, like, 10 years after they graduate to get their master's degree. And some of them just go on and teach first. I think they have to at that point. And then they get their I don't know how it works. But all I know is I would have to go right after. Yeah. I couldn't take a break in between because it's just like for anyone when you leave school and you kind of see how life is, you have to turn assignments, you have to take tests, you have to study, you have all the extra time to yourself to do other things, you don't want to do it. That's why summertime is so dangerous. Summer is so dangerous.
Oh my God, it really is.
Because school started back up for me in August, and I'm just like, but I know I have to do it. And I think since it's only been like 2 months of summer, like I'm not completely out of it to where I'm just like, I don't know what school's like anymore because I was just writing the paper 2 months ago. But had it been a whole year, dead mission.
That's what I'm kind of afraid of because like when I first graduated undergrad, I waited a semester before I applied to the vet tech program, and then since I applied late, I had to wait a whole year, but I got in, so it's okay. Since I already had that foot in, I was okay, so I didn't like sloop down like, oh God, I don't want to go back because I already had a foot in the door. But then when I graduate, I always said I just want to take 1 year off, but it's mainly because I need to add up some money because vet school is expensive it's like really expensive. You cannot work during vet school at all. And
Is it
everybody who
law
knows
school?
me, yeah, like everybody knows me, I work all the time. So the fact that I can't work during vet school is going to bother me. So I'm just going to keep working and working
try to
and working
save.
and working and save
Yeah.
up. So it's not like I don't have a motivation for just taking that year off. But in the back of my head, I'm going to be like, please don't lose motivation. Please don't use the move. Like, I don't want to lose it, because then if I don't apply, then it's like all that hard work that you did
And
for
that's
nothing.
that's a good thing about our generation, is that you have some people who are like me, who won't go back if you give me 2 years off. But then you have other people who are like Courtney. You can give her 3-4 years off, and she will still go back because she knows that's what she wants to do. She knows what she needs to do. And it just depends on like the person, depends on like their drive, and like, do they actually need it. I'm pretty sure if I knew that I needed to get another degree, I would go back and get it. I would cry, but I would go back and get it. It would just take a lot for me to get there.
Right.
And I think it's definitely that motivation standpoint. Yeah.
So at 25, we're saying that grad school should be a thing that you're doing, if you're going to do it, I guess. And relationships should be happening, but are they happening?
I feel like, me personally, none of the stuff that's supposed to be happening is happening. Like, because I'm the only one right now that's 25. So let's get that out the way. So everything that's supposed to be happening is not happening. I don't have a relationship. I'm very much so single. I don't have kids. I don't want any right now. I don't want kids until I'm like late 20s, 30s. Especially if I'm going to vet school, y'all gonna mess me up. So no.
Courtney's future kids, please watch this video and repeat the part where she says, y'all gonna mess me up.
And y'all mess her up.
So don't mess me
Please
up.
mess her up.
Please do it.
Don't do it. But it's like all like, especially some of our sororities, it's like all of them are like married, like have kids, and I'm just like, like, wow, I'm the same age as you, and I'm not doing any of that.
Yep.
But I'm still going to school, so like, yeah, so it's like, some days I do feel like, dang, that's supposed to be me, but it's not. So I'm just like, wow. But it's like a lot of the people that I'm trying to date aren't feeling the settle down part. They're still living that bachelor
I
lifestyle.
was going to say, a lot of people at 25, you have a lot of them settling down, but you also have a lot of relationships ending. And a lot of people still doing the same thing they was doing in high school, to where they can't, stick to one person. They like to, move around, see what's happening over here.
But I think that's our generation, period. I feel like our generation doesn't do well when it comes to like
Commitment.
settling. Yeah,
General.
like I know I have a huge commitment issues
You
with
do.
anything. Not just relationships, like anything. Like I can't even commit to a hairstyle for longer than a couple of weeks. Like I have
That's
really
like a lot of girls though.
I have really severe commitment issues when it
I
comes
have
to
afro
like
straight.
I can't even stick to like a favorite color for longer than a couple of
Wow.
years. I change my favorite color like every couple of years. Like it's that bad. Like my
So
commitment
you-
issues are like
So
through
what's
the
your
roof.
color this year?
Right now it's gold.
Okay.
But like it used to be blue, it used to be green, it used to be yellow. Like it changes
She one of
every
them.
couple of years.
She one of them.
So it's hard for me, like with jobs and stuff. Well, not jobs, because I've been at the same job for a while. But I guess like the things that interest me, I guess. Like I'm always like interested in something new.
Yeah.
And if I want to get into that new thing that I'm interested in, it means that I have to leave behind something that I was already doing. So it's like it's hard for me to like let go of some of the things that I like, but I have to in order to do other things that like I want to get
Yeah.
into, or I want to know if I like, and I want to experience. I think our generation is all about like experiencing things and like trying things out.
Yeah.
So I can see why there are a lot of people who are still like single and like playing the field and stuff
And I
like
think
that.
a big part of that is because of how we see the other generations.
What happened to
Because
them?
We see how like our grandparents are like, oh, they've been together for 82 years. It's just like, dang. And it's just like, I want to be with them.
See, for me, it's almost the opposite. It's not even seeing the people that have been together for 50 years or whatever and being like, I don't want to be like that. I would love to be like that. What has turned me away from it is seeing people who have been together for 20, 30 years and then they get divorced after that long. And it's like, I don't want to be in a relationship for that long for it to not work
and
out.
what
Yeah.
you said is, I've seen for our generation, I see people like getting married too fast, and then they get divorced like a couple months later, or like the next day later. Like, what are you doing? So that deterred me. I'm like, I don't know if I want to.
See, when
I just go ahead.
And I think about that, like having kids so early, like for me, I just think about my parents when they had kids early, and when you have kids earlier, it kind of like stops you from doing so much, like
Oh, yeah.
traveling
Yes.
and just buying stuff for yourself. Because at this age, like at the age that I'm at now, My parents have already had kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot...
Oh, same, yeah.
So, like, I can't even imagine me right now having kids.
Oh, my gosh. I cannot.
No,
like,
no.
I can just, like, just thinking about, like, if I had a kid right now, just, like, Daddy, I'm like, if you don't get out of my face.
Right?
Like, I got work in the morning.
I'm saying.
And it's like you have to care for someone else. You're not only... You can't be selfish.
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually think about someone else other than yourself. And it's just... Like, I can't imagine doing that right now. And the fact that, like, I know that, like, my parents and other people have been doing that, it's just like, that's not something that I want. Because I'm going to Germany next week, and when I go to Germany, I don't want to be able to say, oh, I can't go to this place because I don't have nobody to watch my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like...
And that's why it's so interesting to me seeing some of the people like our sorority sisters who are getting married and are having kids and stuff. And it's like, I mean, to each his own. Like, if that's the path that you chose and you like it, then go for it. But I just can't see myself cutting myself off from things that I want to do because I have other obligations when I could just not have those other obligations.
And it's kind of like that with a dog, too. Because when you have a dog, like, some people... They'll be like,
oh yeah, I have to spend $200 to board my dog when I go on vacation this week, so that's a lot of money.
So it's kind of like you're getting that experience now because they call them fur babies. It's like when you want to leave, you can't just leave your dog at home. You're like you have to plan. You have to say, okay, I have to find someone to watch you, or I have to pay someone to watch you, or let's see if grandma's home or grandpa's home or something like that. Otherwise, I can't go.
Right.
Because you will die without me.
And it's like just experiencing that, because it's like with this trip that I'm going on, like usually if I go on like a small trip, like for my birthday or whatever, like I'll usually leave him with like my mom or somebody like that. But it's like she's going, like it's like anybody that I would be leaving him with either already has something going on the time that I'm going to be gone, or they're also going to be gone. So it's like I'm really experiencing for the first time. I've had him for 2 years. This is the first time that I've had to like board him. Yeah. So it's like, imagine if I had a kid. Like, you can't just board a kid. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Well, there are alternatives to that. Speaking from personal experience, I remember one time my mom set me completely up. It was when I was younger, and she said, "Oh, you just going to grandma's house for the weekend," and she went to New York.
But I mean, you were at your grandmother's house. You weren't at like a random hotel by yourself.
But you get babysitters, you know. Yeah. You got babysitters.
Babysitters gonna charge.
They are.
They'll be like, you can go off for 2 weeks. Oh yeah, my rate just went up. My rate just went up.
So at 30, at 30, where do you think? I guess what I'm saying is, do you think that you will be at 30 where society expects you to be at 30?
No.
Yeah, it's like, no, I want to be, like, I know I want to, well, I'm just going to be just getting out of vet school, so I'm going to hope I'm going to be a vet fresh out the game, but hopefully a good one fresh out the game. I hope I'm going to meet somebody, and like, I always said I wanted to have a college sweetheart, but that didn't happen, so maybe a vet school sweetheart, you never know. Speaking into existence, you know.
Yes, put it out there in the atmosphere.
Hey future babe, you know, and then not kid jet, maybe like 2 years, because my mom had my brother when she was 23, she had me when she was 32, so my limit has always been at 32 right there. I'm like, well, here I am. That 32 looks nice.
It looks nice.
It looks real nice over there in that 32. So if I don't have a kid by 32, you know, 32.
But I also think it's interesting that it's like a standard for like people to have kids by a certain age. If you have it too early, you're ridiculed. If you have it too old, you're ridiculed.
Oh, yeah.
So only a certain time frame. And it's just like, why? Because I was watching Supergirl earlier today. And on the show, the lady, she said something around the lines of, this isn't verbatim, but she said something along the lines of, people always measure their success in the moment, and they try to do everything at once. And she goes, do you think that I got to where I am doing everything at once? Do you think where I've become so successful doing everything at once? She said, of course not. I focused on my career first, and now I have a good career. Now I have a 7-year-old son. 50-something years old, but I have a 7-year-old son, and he has a great life. And now I'm focusing on this. So it's just like, she like kind of took the steps of like, I'm 50 years old right now, but I was able to accomplish everything that I wanted to, not in the time frame that everybody else wanted to, but in my own time frame. And I think that's what we all need to like realize. Is that, like, we all have our own time frames, and we gotta go by our own time frames, and not by like the overarching term thing
Right.
that society puts on us.
Now, one group that I didn't throw in there, but they are millennials. I'm pretty sure millennials, the oldest millennials, I think, are
37.
roughly, I was going to say, roughly
like my
35
brothers,
or
me
something
and my
like
brother
that.
are both millennials.
Yeah, so at 35, maybe a little bit older than 35, should you be somewhere different at that age than where you were at 30? And if so, what's the difference?
See, I don't know how to describe it because like he's still living his bachelor lifestyle, but he's like older millennial. I personally don't think he should be doing that, and he knows that.
But
like, it's like,
that's
I
because
feel
he's
like you
past
should be
30. What I'm
settled.
saying, like, the people that are 30 and the people that are 35, 37, should they be on the same page? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, once you get to 30, is it just plateauing once you get to 30, and then maybe it goes up once you get to 40? But I'm saying between, like, 30 and 40, is it one level, or is it, like, 30 and then 35, you should be somewhere else or whatever like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
According to society, I think that like society expects at 30 you're doing one thing, but once you get like into the late 30s, you're kind of like trying to really figure out, okay, where do I want to settle down at? And
So you're saying that at 30, you're not settled down?
no, not exactly, because I think past that point, I'm thinking more towards retirement. I guess you would say.
Okay.
So it's just like, where am I going to buy my final house? Like, I may buy a house now at 20-something or at 30-something.
But it's not where I'm going to be
Yeah,
forever.
but my final house to where, like, I know I want to be at forever, I think, like, once you hit, like, going towards 40-ish, you want to be like, okay, this is where I'm going to be until, like, I'm gone. And I think once you hit, like, 37-ish, 38, that's when you need to figure out, like, okay, where I want to be, and do I want to keep working for this place? Do I want to have one last job before I'm done, before retirement comes? Because at this point, I know a lot of us are trying to retire early. The standard is to retire at like 60-something.
I think it's like 65 or something.
Yeah. People are trying to retire at 40-something.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Same.
I'm trying to get done, have my shmoney vacation. That's what I
My
want.
shmoney.
So I think it just depends on like, with our generation.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I never even thought about the whole early retirement thing. That never even crossed my mind. I feel like I'm so not even thinking about retirement, let alone early retirement.
I am.
I have that. I have so
Think
many
about
things that I have to do before that
you're
can
at
even be a
that's
thought in
already things
my
right
mind.
now. You're like, I see the future.
Like
The future's bright.
I can't even process that
I'm
right
thinking
now.
about, jeez. Woo. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about retirement since I was a freshman. in
Oh, okay.
Dang, okay.
Because
That's great.
I was trying to live
because
life.
I'm thinking about like I don't want to work for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I guess my version of retirement isn't like everyone else's version, because something that I want to do is not like, I don't exactly want to stop working, but when I retire, I'm going to do exactly what I want to do with my money and my time, with helping my community and whatever I'm doing. I don't want to be working for someone.
Okay.
I want to be
I
working
see
for
what
myself.
Yeah.
And then I can take off and do vacations whenever I want to. It's just like, I want to be able to just do me. So that's like my kind of
I get that.
view of retirement.
Yeah.
See, I like the idea of, and I always want to be like slightly done with school and like work. Like how I do it now is like some days I work doubles. I will always wanted to like if the days when like whenever break hits or like the year I'm just working, I will always love the thought of I don't have to work as many days, but I work the same hours, but I don't work as many days. So I can pull a double this day, this and that, and still be 40 hours a week, but have all those days to myself. I love that thought. Like I just when I get older, I can't because of school, but like literally the thought of the like retiring early, but like working less. Like I want to be able to work less, but I still kind of want to work.
Right. Interesting. So I guess what we're saying is that there's a certain idea that we feel like, or a certain timeline that we feel like we have to meet, but some of us are not meeting it. I guess one thing that we didn't necessarily address head on was for those people, we kind of addressed it, but not really. I just want to, I guess, be more specific about it. For those people who aren't following the timeline, and not so much as you just aren't following, but like you feel like you're falling behind, what, I guess, would you say to that person that feels like they're falling behind? Because like I know that I definitely feel like that a lot, where it's like I have these moments or these days where I feel like I'm not where I feel like I should be, because I'm looking around and I'm seeing like, oh, this person's working here and this person's in this relationship, this person has these kids, this person bought a house, and I'm like, dang, like there are so many things that people are doing that I'm I'm not ready to do. I don't know when I'm going to be ready to do it. So I feel like I'm falling behind. But then I think about it and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. They're like 3 years older than me. So like I got some time.
Yeah.
Also, I think whenever I see that, I just think they're ready, and I'm not. And they have their mind made up. They know what they want to do, and that's okay. But it's also okay not to know what you want to do.
Oh yeah.
Yet. And that's one thing I had to get myself to understand. As far as like being where society wants us to be, I kind of think the generation before us
kind of set the tone.
Yeah, but and I kind of think that they followed that. They were like, okay, we got to do this by this time, this by this time. But our generation is kind of just like, yeah, forget
I'm
that.
doing what I need to do
like,
for me.
Exactly. Like,
only me, slightly selfish.
You don't care about what
me.
the standards you set. You be like, oh, you got to get married by 30. It was like, okay, well, I'm married at 21. What's good? Or vice versa. It was like, oh, you got to get married by 25. It was like, I'm going to get married at 45. I love that one.
Right.
So it's just... we kind of like are doing the opposite of everything that society wants us to do, and it sucks because it gets to a certain point to where it's just like we get ridiculed for doing the things that we do, but then when you guys did it, you were miserable. So it's just like
I think that's why we've done things we've done. It's because we've seen how it didn't work out very well for them.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Those people who are in our generation that maybe are following the timeline. And maybe we haven't gotten far enough to see this yet, but those people who have followed the timeline and maybe did things early or on time, did that work out negatively for them? Like, did it end up blowing up in their face? Because you mentioned earlier, like, people moving out and then being like, oh, I can't do this, and having to move back in. So it's like, or people that maybe have gotten married and gotten divorced. Like, I actually know a couple who got married. I don't exactly know how old they were. They were in their early 20s, maybe like 21, 18, somewhere in there. And they got married, got divorced, and then got remarried 10 years later, which was great because it's like, okay, you guys, had needed some time apart to grow. My friend literally did that. But it's nice to see because it's like you guys were meant for each other, but you weren't meant for each other in that moment that you got married. Time. And had you waited, you wouldn't have to do all the back and forth. But like eventually, in the end, it ended up working out.
Because I don't know, like I think that like a lot of us have relationships that we feel like, oh, this could actually last. But I just kind of think that they have it at the wrong time. Because like I get the question all the time, like of, are you with this person or when are you going to get with this person? And it's just like, one thing that a lot of people know about me is if I'm in a relationship, not many people would know about it. Maybe a handful of people would know about it, but right after school, there was a time to where it was about to, be something. I'm just going to leave it at that. But it was about to be something different, and I'll say that. And that kind of just like went away because I guess I realized the time period that I'm in and who I am and who that person was and like the places in our lives at that moment, and it just wasn't going to work.
Oh yeah, there's definitely, when you say that, there's definitely a person that comes to mind.
Yeah. And
you know exactly who I'm talking about. You don't know, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's like,
now I want to know.
It could, it like almost work. It's like there's always like this.
It's like you want it to
work. The timing is
work.
always so like messed up.
Yes.
It's like when I'm ready, they not ready. When they ready, I'm not ready. That's
and
a whole other podcast.
Yeah, like see. I was like trying to be very meticulous with my words because I didn't want to say too much, but like I definitely understand. It was just like we just weren't at the same place.
We weren't on the same page at the same time. Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, like even though society may say you should be with this person if you love them, so on and so forth, they don't realize that like, what if we're not on the same page? I may love them and all this stuff, but if we're not on the same page, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So, it may work out in the future, it may not, but it just depends.
Yeah.
It really just depends.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. So let us know down below in the comments what timeline you feel like society has set for you, whether it's a cultural thing, a family thing, like a regional thing, whatever it may be. Let us know down below, and let us know whether you feel like you're following it or whether you feel like you're not following it. Are you not following it because you can't follow it? Or are you not following it because you don't want to follow it? Let us know down below in the comments. I think the biggest takeaway from this is to do what you need to do for you and don't feel like you have to stick to something. Don't feel like you have to do what the person next to you is doing. Because everybody's different. Everybody's timeline is going to be different. Just because you don't make it the same time that somebody else makes it doesn't mean that your time's not going to come if it hasn't come already.
Don't be ashamed.
Yeah, don't be. It's not something to be ashamed of. Like, I know that I mentioned that, like, I feel like I'm falling behind. But it's like you also have to look at all the things that you have accomplished and be proud of that and be happy of that, and know that, you know, if you haven't gotten exactly where you want to get, your time is coming. One day you'll get there. It'll be okay.
Like I said in the video, remember, you have your own timeline. Everybody has their own timeline. Joe may be here and Jonathan may be there, but KJ's right here and he's okay with it.
He's doing just fine.
Just fine. So, you know, just stick to your own timeline, be happy, and work with what you got.
Exactly.
Make sure you like this video, guys.
Like
subscribe.
it, make sure you subscribe.
Yes, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below to see more videos from us every Sunday at 12.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.